Hi all. A warm good evening to everyone present here. So I welcome you to the day 8 of Engineering Foundation program. So today we have career insights and guidance from Amrita Alumni. So for today's session, we have with us Sneha S. So she is a software and she is currently working with Google Maps and Google Bangalore. And she has completed her BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore. And since her childhood, she is interested in the programming and she has been a competitive programmer. She has participated in so many competitive programs, including the Indian National Olympiad and also the Zonal Informatics Olympiad. And she has also won many prizes, including the competitions like ICPC regionals. And she has participated in software engineering internships with Microsoft, Amazon, and she has worked along with chatbots, search engines, and subscriptions management. So I heartily welcome, I take this opportunity to welcome Sneha to this event. So thank you so much for coming. And for all the students who are here, so it's an opportunity to interact with our alumni. So amidst of all the COVID-19 situations, she is a pass out in 2021 and she is now working in Google. So you can talk with her, you can interact with her. So all your questions will be cleared by the end of the session. So if you have anything to ask, you can post it in the live chat box and those questions. So once again, I welcome you all and thank you, Sneha, for coming.
Thank you so much, Lakshmi ma'am, for inviting me to this event. I'm really happy to be a part of this event where I can directly interact with school students. And I clearly remember the time when I was a school student and I was an aspiring computer science engineer. And yeah, I'm really happy to be of some use to them after I've gone through that phase.
So I think I'll take. So the first question with every student will have in their mind is why you have chosen this profession called engineering. So it's like why engineering, or was it already planned? Maybe after your 12th and all.
Right. So after my 12th, so I decided the first decision which I made was I was going to do something related to computer science because I really loved computer science in my 11th and 12th grade when I chose those stream. And after deciding that I was going to do something with computer science, the natural decision for me was engineering because I preferred it more than other streams like BSc, computer science, and other research related areas because I I think I was interested more in building things, building projects, and building more into development than research oriented areas. So I think that was a natural decision for me, engineering.
Okay, that's pretty good. So it's like I just want to know, do you made any special preparations from your side to join this course called engineering?
Yeah, so they were all these entrance exams which I took as would any other computer science students would do in their 12th standard. So I did some preparation for those entrance exams, specifically like JEE mains and advanced, and also Amrita also had their own entrance exam. So yeah, the regular preparation which everyone else would do.
Okay, so you have prepared for all these competitive examinations.
Yeah.
So one thing I wish to ask is, what skills or maybe the knowledge that you have acquired or learned throughout your BTech program were the most useful in your profession or in your career, in your job?
Okay, so I think so we covered a lot of different subjects and courses in our curriculum at Amrita, and out of all those different courses, I would say the practical experience which we gain by doing hands-on projects and working on hands-on development exercises, I think those are the experiences that help me the most because that's what I could relate to the most after started working here. So for example, we did a course on DBMS, which is like database management system, and then we did a course on software engineering, and all these courses were project based courses, which means apart from the theory exams which we had, we also had a component for doing projects where we were allocated different projects and we had to work on different parts of it, and that was also evaluated. I think so that hands-on experience is what helped me the most.
Okay, so I think this will be useful for all the students who are watching the session. So now I'll come to one point, like why did you choose Amrita, or what made you choose Amrita as the college which you're going to pursue your course called engineering?
Okay. I think this is a very unique thing for me alone. So Amrita had this program called BTech Honors, which focuses, which has a separate curriculum which focuses majorly on competitive programming. Not only the honors program, but in general, I've heard a lot of things about Amrita before joining there, that the university and the department encourages competitive programming a lot. And I was introduced to competitive programming in my 12th grade. So I knew I liked it very much and I wanted to go somewhere where I'll be able to pursue it to its fullest extent. And thus, having heard that Amrita really encourages coding and has like different clubs for competitive coding itself. So I was really interested in applying for Amrita, and I did, and I got in.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I think you have written EEE exam for getting
Yeah,
admission to Amrita.
yeah, I did.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So after passing out, what were your impressions about Amrita? Maybe while you started your work and all. So how this has helped you, or are you satisfied with the overall experience, or what was it?
Definitely, I think like I'm in a good place after passing out of Amrita, because like majorly like the curriculum is very well designed and uh, it covers all the fundamentals in computer science. It touches upon all the different areas, like operating systems, like database, like software engineering, and there were a lot of courses related to machine learning and NLP and data science. And so I think like the entire curriculum is designed in such a way that it covers all the different fundamentals. And we also had like other elective courses like cloud computing and Android development or web development, anything which students could pick up based on their interests and what field they want to pursue in. So I think one thing is the curriculum, which was very well designed, I felt. And the other thing is, I think like the placements are also pretty good at Amrita. So the especially more than the companies that come to Amrita for placements, I want to talk more about the training which we undergo before the placement season. So a lot of sessions are organized spanning across different skill sets. Like we have separate sessions for soft skills, we have separate sessions for technical skills and hard skills, and we also have like some sessions for like aptitude training, etc. So I think the training which we get from Amrita, specifically for placements, I think that stands out uh, more. So I think that also I felt was a good part,
Okay. So
which
can
helped
you
me a lot.
please specify about some of the extracurricular activities, or maybe some of the clubs you were part of and that helped you in your career?
Oh, many clubs actually. So this is one really good thing about Amrita, which I like, are the students are like the peer group which you find. I can say that it was the same for my senior batches and my batches and my immediate junior batch. W- the students who were there when I was at college. So the peer group is incredible, and like everyone is a part of one or the other club, and the activities and the events that are being conducted across different clubs in CSE department are just great. We invite a lot of guest speakers and have different sessions and like conduct different coding contests or hackathons within the club itself. So the participation is very active, to say the least. And coming in particular to the clubs I was part of, so there is Coded Amrita Club and the coach of campus chapter at Amrita, which to mainly focuses on competitive programming. and competitive coding. And apart from this, I was also part of the Google Developer Students Club at Amrita. So I was the tech lead for the coding division, and I was also the head of the ACM chapter at Amrita. So yeah, these are just a few examples. There are a lot more clubs and societies which you could be a part of, where a lot of things are happening.
So to all the students who are viewing the session, you can post the questions. So I'm seeing some of the questions. We'll answer those questions for sure. And I wish to ask you something like, what is something that in Amrita that you absolutely loved being a part of? Maybe other than these clubs or something. Is there anything?
Um, I think the experience which, like apart from the curriculum and what we studied in college, the experience that I gained by interacting with my peer group, I think that is what helped me a lot. Because like when I was in my first year and second year, I had my seniors who were like leading these different clubs, and they would like regularly take different sessions on different topics and from them, and then we would like go back, practice those, and then go back to them with questions. So I think the peer group is what like really helped me a lot, like having like seniors who can help me, help us while like trying to learn a new thing, trying to experience a new field. Yeah, I think so. That is what I
Yeah.
like the most.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you told about you have received some placement training from Amrita, and I just want to know more about those placement trainings and also some idea about how many interviews you have attended, or maybe how many offers you have received, and what was that process, and how you have concluded to Google.
Okay. So the first part of your question about the trainings that we receive. So the training starts as early as second year. So when we were in second year, we had a specific course for placement training. So this was a part of all the other courses, like the core subjects which we would have. So this was one such subject which we had, and we would like have weekly two classes or something like that in our second year. So the training started as early as the second year, and then when we go on to third year, it was made to a credit course. So we got credits for this particular subject where we did placement training. And then in our final year, just before the placements began, we had like different sessions which were like going on throughout the day. And we also had a lot of mock interviews which the placement CR division itself conducted, the placement cell, they themselves conducted by, and the faculties, Amrita faculties, would take those mock interviews. So that was also a great experience, and it provided like it was like a rehearsal platform just before going to our interviews. So that helped a lot. And the interviews which I have attended, so I attended Amazon's interview and Atlassian's interview and Intuit and Microsoft before my internship. And yeah, off the top of my mind, this is what I can remember. And about the offers that I got, so I did an internship at American Express, so I got a PPO from there. And likewise my Amazon internship as well, I got a PPO after my Amazon internship. And apart from that, I got an offer from Google and Atlassian. And yeah, I think that's it, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And I chose Google because yeah, I had a feeling that the problems that I would be solving in Google would be much more interesting to me, would be like real life problems, and would interact with uh, the work would be around data which millions and millions of users are like every day using the products and the services. So that was something like really exciting for me. So
So it's like students here will be interested to know about what was your interview experience with Google, or how was the rounds, and can you please specify all those details?
oh, sure, absolutely. So, all right. So first, the step of the process was a recruiter call, which was more of getting to know each other. So my recruiter explained to me about the culture at Google, and she asked me about my interests, and there was like a basic a few questions to check my fundamentals, if my fundamentals fundamentals in computer science were strong. And post that, there was a phone interview where I was asked a problem related to DSA, data structures and algorithms, and it was a 45-minute interview. I had to solve that problem in 45 minutes, and after that, we get qualified to the on-site interviews, where I had 5 rounds in the on-site interview, out of which 4 were technical rounds, where the major focus was on data structures and algorithms. So they ask us different problems, and we had to solve them within the time constraint, and then like come up with the most optimized solution. And one round was an aptitude round sort of thing. It was like mostly focused on like bringing out my leadership qualities, and like asking like situations that might arise in the workplace, asking about those situations, and then trying to understand how I would react to those situations, etc. It was like an aptitude round.
Yeah. How was the curriculum at Amrita and how much it was helpful for your job? So it's like, did the curriculum prepare you for the job you're doing now?
To an extent, yes. So, as I mentioned before, the projects that we worked on, that really acted as a basement for all the things that we would be doing in our job. But one thing I would say, which the projects can't level up to, like development scale, like the scale at which these companies operate. So the projects that we do in our college can't match up to that, but that was also compensated by like the different internship experiences which we were exposed to. So yeah, to some extent, definitely.
So it's like your placement drive during this pandemic was every rounds online or
Yeah, all the rounds were online.
okay.
Otherwise, it would we would have been going to the office and taking the interviews, but since it was during the pandemic, everything was online.
So can you please specify or can you please give the students an idea about your job, what you're doing now?
Sure, yeah. So I'm a part of the Google Maps team, and in Google Maps, so there are 2 parts to it. One is like the base navigation system, which is a part of Google Maps, where you like you use it for navigation and like for directions and going to places, navigating between places, etc. And the other part of it is all the information which we find for different places on Google Maps. For example, like if you want to like look at restaurants around you, then with a simple search you get lots of restaurants which are located nearby you, which also has a lot of user content to it, which are content which is contributed by users of Google Maps, like the different ratings and the photographs and reviews and like the address of the location, the place, the timings, etc. So all these are user contributed content on Google Maps. That is, the data is got from the users, and my team works on moderation of this data. That is, it we work on classifying like abusive and non-abusive content, and basically my team protects the data that are like you can see in Google Maps, and we ensure that the content which is shared is useful and accurate.
So students are asking about your designation in Google.
I'm a software engineer.
So I think that question is cleared, and it's like it's just a question from my side. So based on all the details or all the knowledge you have acquired now, will you maybe if you have any option to make, will you choose the same career path or maybe anything different?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I love my job and the work that I'm doing here. The problems are really interesting that which I'm solving. So yeah, if I knew this is what I would be doing, I would have definitely chosen the same path.
Oh, that's great. And it's like a bit of maybe what skills do these employers look for in the new graduates? Can you please describe some of them so that it will be helpful for our students?
Definitely, yeah. All right. So uh okay. So first I'll talk about what are the actual things you'll be tested on during these interviews. And those would be majorly for like big companies like Google or Microsoft or Amazon, etc., most of their rounds focus majorly on data structures and algorithms, and for that you'll have to like have strong problem solving abilities and strong fundamentals in different data structures and algorithms. I will also like share where you can practice such problems and where you can acquire these skills. I'll come back to it. So these are the major skills which they look for: problem solving abilities and data structures and algorithms fundamentals. And another thing is there's also another part to it, which is like developmental experience. So many companies also have different development rounds and hackathon rounds, but I didn't have one in my Google interviews. Generally Google interviews are mostly focused on problem solving for new grads at least. So yeah, these are the skills that they would look for.
And I would like to give you some maybe tips for those students who are interested in coding.
uh,
Like from where they have to start, or it's like there'll be students who are interested to do something, but they don't know from the where they have to start. So you have already told that you are having that interest from your school days itself. So I think you could give some idea to our students.
Absolutely, yeah. So I was exposed to competitive programming was through this Olympiad which I wrote, ZIO. So I wrote the Zonal Informatics Olympiad, and then I was qualified to International Olympiad in Informatics, and that's when I started with competitive programming. I was introduced to it, and I used to continuously solve a lot of problems, and I mean, like that's how I started doing competitive programming. And some of the sites which you can go to for solving problems are the famous ones are CoachF and CodeForces, where there'll be a lot of problems, and like there'll be different parts to a problem. I mean, you can find lots of tutorial materials on YouTube as well as like a simple Google search, which will bring up a lot of materials related to competitive programming. So one place you can start by is solving like ad hoc problems on CodeCef and Codeforces, which doesn't involve any knowledge of data structures or algorithms. So you can start solving it. You can learn about what a test case is. You can learn about what the problem statement is. These are the different parts which are associated with a problem. You can learn more about online judges and slowly start solving these problems. And uh, as you solve more and more problems, you will get introduced to problems which will require a particular background knowledge, like or like something else which you should know to solve this problem. And then you'll slowly be introduced to different data structures that are there, like stacks, queues, arrays, etc., and the different algorithms like graph traversal algorithms and tree traversal algorithms, etc. So I mean, all the information is actually at your fingertips. A simple search would like bring up all these materials to you, and you can like there are lots of blogs and posts. Like Geeks for Geeks is a very good place to start learning about these different algorithms and data structures. And there are also a lot of blogs and posts on Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank, etc., where also you could find a lot of materials. And YouTube majorly, where all the algorithms and all the data structures, you find tons of materials on YouTube to learn these things.
So it's like, can you provide us some idea about why coding is important now, or why everyone should have an idea about coding nowadays?
Yeah. Uh, so if you've decided that computer science is going to be your field and you're going to be an engineer, then coding skills is a must, because uh, one part of it is basically when you start solving more problems, you gain problem solving skills, which is like a very valuable skill to have, not not even particular to the computer science industry, but in general it's good to have problem solving skills. And when you solve more and more problems, you'll be exposed to different situations which will resemble like real life situations, and you'll get a hang of how to optimize your solution for a particular situation under like different constraints. So basically it'll improve your logical thinking and like your problem solving abilities, which is a great plus point. And if you want to look at it from like placement point of view, almost all the companies nowadays have at least one coding round and one problem solving round. So the initial round using which they select students itself, like the online round, that itself would be a problem solving round or a coding round. So like coding skill is an absolute must these days for any computer science engineer to have.
So most of the students are asking about how you planned it, maybe from your 12th to Amrita, from Amrita to Google. So how you have planned this, or was it something that has happened accidentally?
That's a great question. So some parts of it happened by accident, and some parts of it I worked towards getting there. Uh, so I told you that I got introduced to competitive programming when I started preparing for INOI exam, and that I did because so there's this level after INOI exam, which is IOITZ. And if you're in your school, actually I should also mention this, if you're like interested in this field, you should definitely look into these exams, INOI and ZIO and ZCO, and these will be a great platform for you to participate in a competition at it. It's a very early stage, and it's the sooner you start, it's the better for you. So you should definitely check out INOI and IOI Olympiads if you're in your school and if you're interested. So keeping that aside, so I wanted to take up these exams because if you clear INOI, there were a lot of prestigious institutes in India which gave you direct admission if you had cleared INOI. And I was aiming for some of those institute, and that's how I came to know about INOI, because I was going through their admissions page and the different ways of admission. But once I did, I was like really interested in it, and I started continuing it after coming to Amrita as well. And as I said, like the peers and the seniors also really encouraged it, so that was a great bonus. So yeah, I started doing more and more coding, and there was a lot of awareness because of the peer group, and I started participating in ICPC. So ICPC is just like INOI but for college level. I know is for school students and ICPC is for college students. So ICPC is a very prestigious competition, a competitive programming competition, where it's like a group contest. You have to form a team of three and then go and solve problems. So I started participating in that. So the first year I couldn't qualify to regions, I only wrote the online round. And then in my second and third years I was able to qualify to the regions. And then like it's a rank based system, the higher the rank you get, uh, the better. So the top three ranks would of each regional would get a chance to go to, excuse me, yeah, would get a chance to go to the world finals. So yeah, I started participating in that and a lot more other competitive programming contests, and that's how I developed my skill in competitive programming. Another important thing which I did, which helped me a lot, was internships. So I started looking for internships at an early stage. So in my second year itself, I started looking out for different internships, and I started applying online. So all these companies have their career sites. Like for Google, it's Google Careers, and Amazon Jobs and Microsoft Careers, etc. So all these different companies have their career sites where they have like different job postings, and you can set filters for like new grad level and for software engineer, etc., based on like the location or your experience, years of experience, etc. And you can see if they have any openings. And I kept on applying to all those openings and like looking out for internship opportunities. And when I finally did get one, I was allowed to take it during the summers between my semesters. So that gave me a great experience, and because of the internships which I had previously done, I also got more and more offers. So after I did my first internship, I got a chance for my second internship, and then my third, and finally my job. So yes, the start looking for internships early on, and start doing coding, competitive programming. So yeah.
Yeah. So, so what part of your job you're doing now is most satisfying, or which part is most challenging?
Um, I think both are the same. The parts that part that's more satisfying as well as challenging. It's like the problems that I'll be able to solve. So it's not like a routine development experience. At least my team is that way. I was lucky enough to be in a team in which actual like problem solving happens. So I get to think about the solutions which I build, and I tend to like optimize it, and that involves a lot of problem solving and like logical thinking. I think that's my favorite part of the job. And once a project which you're working on is launched, then users start using it on a day-to-day basis. So that's a really exciting part where you find something that you've built being used by lots of users. So yeah, that's also my
Okay,
favorite.
so students are here asking about do you face any hurdles or are there any struggles over the throughout your journey? So you have faced anything like that?
Okay, so meaning in my college or right now in my job?
Uh, it's like maybe in your journey. So maybe from your college to your job, for all is mentioned, I think.
Okay. Definitely, yeah. I didn't get internships at many of the places I applied. Like for 15 of my applications, I would get selected for the interviews only at one place. So all the other 14 were rejections. So yeah, I mean, that's natural, I think. Like without any experience, like with just resume shortlisting, you should be prepared to like get rejection emails from lots of companies, and you shouldn't be like dejected out of that. So yeah, those were some struggles which I faced. And also like shuffling between curriculum and the exams that you would have at college, and simultaneously like investing more and more time into competitive programming, that was also a challenge. And especially when the season started, you have to like juggle between lots of things. You have to code, and then you have to also do some preparation for your placements and attend interviews. You'll also have your curriculum and like different projects you'll be working on. Yeah, you have to juggle a lot of different things, but yeah, it's just, I think, efficient time management. Once you get a hold of it, it should be manageable.
So there are questions in the now also. So what kind of coding platforms have you learned and are you using right now, which as a student is must to learn?
Definitely. So some of the online judges, as I mentioned already, were CodeChef, Codeforces. I majorly coded on these two platforms. So these two platforms have problems which are more centered around competitive programming, and these competitive programming contest ICPC type problems. And for placement preparation, so there's a slight difference between the questions that are asked during interviews for placements and like other job interviews, and questions that you get in like competitive coding contests like ICBC. So CoachF and Codeforces focus more around competitive programming problems. And one platform, a very good, there are many other platforms as well, but one thing which I used a lot to solve problems was lead code for my placement preparation. So a lot of the problems in lead code, so you can also like filter by different topics and like based on different companies and the past problems asked in a company, etc. So a lot of the problems that are listed in lead code are more interview specific and placement specific. So I moved gradually towards lead code in my final year when my placement was going on, but initially I was coding a lot on CodeChef and Codeforces, and also taking up different competitions like ICPC and Google Kickstart and CodeJam, Hacker Cup, etc.
Okay, so here students are asking for some tips from your side, like how you have overcome all those issues you have faced or what have you done. So what were your strategies?
I think one thing that really helped me was like having a group uh, to solve the problem. So I always with my friends. We used to sit as a group and solve the problems. My ICBC teammates as well as like my friends in college. So I think that is what like made the difference. Like that is what made me like cross the line solving with them. So even if you get like demotivated at times, your peers would be solving, and like you would like sit with them and at least like look at what they are doing, and they would be solving different problems from different topics. You will get to learn more. Like you can both teach them as well as learn from them. So I think that makes a huge difference. And if you get the opportunity, try to like code along with a set of people. So that'll be really helpful.
Okay. So just what are your future plans? So have you planned anything?
As of now, I plan to continue in the software engineering field because I really like the work that I'm doing right now. But I don't have, I think, like I'm not sure about the long term plans. As far as now is concerned, I'm not planning to like switch fields or anything. I'm going to continue with software engineering.
And students are asking about how you prepared for all these competitive exams along with your studies and all. Maybe in your 12th grade also you have participated in so many competitions. So how you have prepared for all of them?
Yeah, it was a struggle actually. So I had my INOA exam in January and I had my board exams in March. So it was really difficult balancing both. But actually, I wouldn't advise this to others, but I put major focus in on INOI because I really like doing that. So I completely concentrated on that, and I used to like take exams, like the school exams, with just the knowledge which like I had like that by attending classes and what I had prepared for like other class tests previously. And once INOA was done, I like completely shift focus to my board exams and like prepared for the exams after that, like all the days. So yeah, it is a struggle, but maybe time boxing would help. Set yourself a fixed time. So say like from 5 to 7 I'm gonna code, and from like 7 to 8 I'm gonna study this subject. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. And for all the students who are repeatedly asking the same questions, you can just watch this live after it's finished, so you'll be able to get the answers. And if you have any further questions, you can just directly post it in the chat box. So I'll be reading out it. And yeah, so the sites for learning coding, she has already mentioned it, and you can view it in the session. So I think I'll come up with a question that's like any last bit of advice for the students, like as they're going to choose their careers or as they're going to make the serious decisions in their life. Maybe
uh,
it's a point like they are in their 12th and they're going to choose some course or something. So what's the last bit of advice from your side?
this may sound redundant, but choose the course and field which you like the most. And it's natural not to have much knowledge on the different fields, or have like, or to know what you want, or to not know what you want when you're in 12th. That's very natural. Even I mean, like many people won't know. And like choose something. I mean, like I would say choose something which like interests you. Explore different fields and like try to like narrow down your choices to what you like, because uh, only when you like the subject you will be able to perform well in that. And with respect to computer science, I'm a computer science engineer, and like start coding it. If you're in a school and you're like watching this session, it's I think it's like great for you to like get awareness about like coding and competitive programming so early in your career. And so once you come to college, everyone would be doing this, and like it's good to have awareness about it at your school level itself. So try solving problems and try doing competitive programming. And if you have a liking towards it, then you can like choose this CSE field. You can also learn more about like development and like other things in the tech field. So right now I mean, like there are a lot of blogs and there are a lot of people writing about different things, tech and computer science. So you can easily find materials online and like explore different fields. So yeah, I would say choose a field which you like the most.
Okay, so we have some more questions to answer, which are there in the chat box. So the first question is, instead of choosing a specialized branch, like there are so many specializations in computer science, like AI or machine learning or robotics or something, why you have chosen this common stream like it's computer science and engineering? Why you have made this decision?
Okay, so One reason was at the time there was only a computer science and engineering course. There wasn't different streamlines for AI and like blockchain or anything like that. So that decision was like an easy choice for me. I mean, like the only choice for me. But after that, I did explore different fields like ML and like development and. I mean, I just like preferred it. I liked the problem solving aspects of it. I did like some ML projects which I did as well, but I just preferred this, so I chose it. But you should definitely like explore the different fields present and choose what you like the most.
Okay, there is one more question like what languages have you learned and which of these coding languages are you now using in your job?
Okay, so when I was at school and when I was at college, only used C++ for coding. And after coming here, job, I majorly use Java. So I code in Java. But one thing which I would like to like make a point here is that it doesn't, I mean, knowledge of a coding language is not that important, I would say, because if you learn one particular language, it's easy to switch between other language. For example, Java and C++ are similar, and C sharp is very similar to Java. And if you learn JavaScript, then other languages that come along with it are easy for you to learn. So just pick some language, and it's easy to learn other language if you know one. To be honest, it's not that difficult to learn a new language. So I used C++ when I was in college, and now I majorly use Java.
So students are asking about suggestions of different programming languages. It's like whether they should study Java or Python.
That's a good question. And so Python, I know Python is majorly used for like AI and machine learning projects. And when you go for computer programming, if you're starting afresh, I mean, if you already know Python and you want to use the same for computer programming as well, that's well and good. But if you're starting afresh and you have like different options, I would say choose like C++ or Java, because in computer programming, the execution time of your program makes all the difference. And Java and C++ compilers are a little bit faster compared to Python, and they, even though like you have like the time set for different languages are based on the execution time of these languages, but Java and C++ are a little bit faster. So if you have a choice, I would prefer Java or C++ for competitive coding.
Yeah, okay, that's good. So I think all our students have received some information and that too in very detail. And I think almost all the questions are answered now. And all the students who are asking for the difference in specializations and all, we have one session tomorrow as a part of Engineering Foundation program. So you can get the answers of these questions in tomorrow's session. And once again, I would like to thank Sneha for coming and giving so much information to our students. And yeah, so I think this session has helped you a lot. So thank you, Sneha. Thank you so much. And thank you all the students for participating.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great, and I hope it was useful for the school students who are listening. Um, I had this awareness from my seniors when I was at school and college, and I'm happy that I'm able to provide that to those who are watching. And yeah, best of luck to everyone.
Yeah. So thank you all. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.